Hello, lovely people. I'm Shaq, and welcome. I thought that we were going to be able to put together the shelves, the other set of shelves, or maybe the wardrobe for the bottom floor for Della. The boards that Arthur cut aren't going to work. So I have sourced some other lumber for the project, but I am short a few dollars in my account, so... and there's supposed to be income this week, so it's got to wait. I did manage to find, however, enough lumber to build the bed for the same floor. And, you know, that is one of those projects that I was actually going to put off because I wasn't 100% certain I wanted a bed in that space. I knew I wanted shelves for the kitchen stuff and shelves for her books, and I knew I wanted a wardrobe for her clothes. But the bed was kind of one of those things I wasn't 100% certain that I actually wanted to build. So I hadn't really made it a priority. But when I found that I had an appropriate amount of lumber to make a really simple bed for the mattress that I already made years ago, that became the project. So let's get going. Here's the headboard, and I decided I wanted a vintage rabbit on there. And I needed some transfer paper, but I don't have any. So this is, I just took a pencil and marked on here heavily with it. Now I'm going to stick it on here. And what kind of bothers me about this is I'm not 100% certain I'm going to be able to get it centered like I would normally center something, because the layers of paper just maybe a little off. So I'm sure there are ways to ensure that you're getting a better centered image. Make sure I haven't gone off the top. Okay. I'm just feeling the top edge of the headboard. And I am going to attempt to get at least a basic outline of this rabbit. And I could freehand it if I spent the time practicing, but I'm going to admit that I have not set aside the time to practice this image. So I hope this works. I spent my morning outside sanding these pieces. One thing about using a stylus is you don't keep track of where you've already marked as easily. So hopefully I get everything, or at least enough. I feel like I did that. Now I'm second guessing. Oh, I didn't do the eyes. Brows. Okay. Yeah, we've got a little bit there to work with. I missed a paw, and I missed the other part of this of the ribbon. So I think I'm going to just go over it here a little bit. Feel like I started in the wrong spot. Missed the whole top of his ear. Did not transfer. Okay, we get all complicated in here. Got the center of the bow. Okay, I am gonna go spend some time painting that, and yeah, I'm gonna say that that worked for getting the basic image transferred. Have something to work with. I did a basic coat with Posca pens, the pins down here, and then I'm gonna go over it with a black marker and maybe some another layer of like pink. Okay, I've got the details drawn in. I'm happy with it. So I need to clean up the paint mess and then we can start assembly. I decided to add a squirrel to the footboard before moving on. And here we go with, we've got the piece of wood that will support the slats. It needs to go on the side rail first. And I got to try to make sure that I keep them oriented left and right, or I'll end up with something weird where I can't, it'll be lopsided. Don't want that. So I forgot on Wednesday to show you a picture of the inside of the wall that we added to the high rise. So I'm going to see if I can get in there with the camera and some light. One of the things that occurred to me as I put this wall in is that the light doesn't reach that room now. It is a very dark room. And I might want to, at some point, add lighting to the, like, put in another strip of lighting and have to figure out a way to attach it so that it shines into the room. But I have to make, the wiring has to be able to get past the wall and not go, you know, not affect the removal of the wall. So yeah, that's going to be some interesting arranging of the wiring to do that. Also on the Cindy house, I ended that last bit of wiring to where it's not going to be as easy to light up the next floor. So I think I'll test it on the Cindy house before I start trying to make it work over here in the high rise. It'll be a similar bypass. Anyway, so I'm going to let that set up. Here's the inside of the wall. It's a little awkward, but just wanted to share how that trim worked out. This is what I had in mind for taking pictures in here. My light's not very bright though. So that, you know, we meet up in the corner. It looks like an enclosed room. I am going to need to do something about the lights. I really wish the lamps lit up, but they don't. But it gives you an idea of looking into the room, I guess. Our side rails are ready to go. So I'm going to set up the headboard. And I think I'm going to balance it using the blocks. My clamp is not long enough to clamp this, so I'm going to have to try and get those rubber bands on there. And we're trying just to get Get even with the edge, and I may use the slats as spacers to make sure that we stay in the right place, I guess. Guess I shouldn't have set that over there. Now it's in the way. So I'm just using the the desktop as a way to keep everything together. I think put the glue on here instead. Okay. Hoping that that's attached enough. Maybe we'll just set this on the inside. Yeah, I think we are going to put these in just in case the rubber band wants to pull it in to keep it from collapsing in. Here we go. I wish my hands were just a little bit bigger. Oh my gosh. No, just a little bit wider. It's not. No. Say, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. All right, we'll try this again. The comedy here. We just need to be an octopus, right? Nope. Well, I'm just gonna set it together for a minute. Without, and see if we get it to hold together just enough. I suppose it doesn't hurt to set the slats in there to try and keep everything square, right? I'm going to use this to try and check ourselves here. Yep, just going to see if we can let it set up and then maybe try and put the pressure of rubber bands on there. Or maybe not. I still have these legs, basically to give it a little height off the floor. And that's it. I ended up gluing the slats in place. I realized that there was absolutely no reason not to do that, and it makes the whole thing a little more sturdy. We're not completely dry, but I'm going to turn it over and glue on the feet. Probably not the best design, but it was the materials I had and probably the simplest way to do it. And I tried to get these all cut the same length. They may turn out to be different, and this bed might rock and roll. I guess I will deal with that when and if it's a problem. And I'm trying to make sure that each leg is supporting the head footboard area plus the side rails. And I think I'm going to flip it back over. and set the weights in here at the ends. It's the next morning, and I have been applying shellac over the wood and the paintings, and I really like the way that it's coming out. The colors of the wood and the paintings on it. I also have bedding. So this mattress right here is the mattress I made probably 10 years ago, and the quilt was made at that same time. And then I've got this little lap blanket. I think she needs a little bigger one, so I may make another one. This one's actually for the 8th scale dolls, and it wasn't in use in any of the setups, so I just purloined it for this. So we'll have it on her bed for now until I can make another one. That I think is going to be it for this week. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next one, because the wood I had planned to buy while the check came in so that I could have the cash, my bank account is, there seems to be an issue with the bank account itself. The app won't function like it's supposed to, so I gotta make some phone calls. So it may make it to where I can't get things ordered, and then there's always the fact that, you know, it always takes longer than I want it to for it to get here. So I will have to come up with something else. Maybe we'll dive into the chunk of wood that needs to make the goblin body. I don't know, but I'll show you the bed in the room. That will happen because it'll be dry by then. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week and a delightful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.